Greetings, everyone. Sister Sage here. I'm going to do something a little different this time. Just going to do this, let it flow naturally, let the energies guide me, and see if we can do a newsletter via video, right? Let's try that. I'm going to do a share screen. I'm going to put up, and hopefully you can still see this and hear me and see everything up on the screen. Okay, so let's take a look at what we are showing here. Okay, so hopefully you can see the screen over here. Okay, I'm going to continue going. And what you're seeing up here in the upper left-hand corner is today's date as I'm giving this Sister Sage newsletter slash video, um, astrology, astropsychology, what's upcoming. Okay, so let me fix the screen. What's upcoming? Today is my birthday, and I want to thank everybody for all the lovely cards, the messages on Facebook, private messages, gifts. I mean, you name it. It's like, oh my God, my heart is overjoyed. Also, we're having a snowstorm this weekend, so there's really not a whole lot I can go do outside, but that's okay. I'm blessed, I'm happy, and I'm here to share all the influences that are happening. So hopefully this is showing up for you to see in my share screen. You'll see up in the left-hand corner, today is Saturday, January 30th. And because I live in Valparaiso, Indiana, this is where the current transits are and where I'm located at the moment. So that's why I'm using this. So you can actually see what's happening today, okay? It really makes it fun to look at. And I always feel that visually it's very helpful to look at things. So let's take a look at what we're seeing today, because right off the bat, today, as many of you know, January 30th, Mercury goes into retrograde. Now, what is beautiful about looking at the visual here is here's Mercury, okay? And what it tells me automatically, well, we want to turn off these little sweet reminders that we get, is it's telling me that the retrograde is happening in Aquarius, okay? And you can see people would say, oh my gosh, look at all that's happening in Aquarius. Well, it is, and we're going to get into that even further as we move along here. So just sit back, relax, get your tea, get your coffee, get your hot chocolate, and enjoy. So, because it's the month of January, we're going to see that we are looking at Capricorn. And most of you know I do divine astrology, and Capricorn uh, is the month of January is all of Capricorn, regardless of the day in divine astrology. So you can see what it does here. So it starts out the 12 houses beginning with Capricorn. That's the symbol for Capricorn. You can see Pluto and Venus are sitting in there today as we speak. Okay? And then again, this is Aquarius. We have Saturn, Jupiter. The Sun has moved into Aquarius, and I believe that happened on January 20th. And then we have Mercury, which is in retrograde. And let me look at my handy dandy, and I'll even hold it up here, y'all, in the little corner picture of me. Okay, so we have January 30th, and it goes to February. Let me make sure. Let me get into the February 20th is when Mercury goes direct. Okay, and it goes direct 7:52 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, February 20th. So this is a good time First of all, for those who know of Mercury in retrograde, it's a wonderful time to go within. It's a time to slow down, to review, uh, to rest, um, rejuvenate. Those are all words for Mercury in retrograde. Anything with the re in front of it, RE, really goes well for Mercury in retrograde. That includes redo, you know, uh, uh, reset an appointment, re anything. I mean, recall, redo, review, um, redone. So that's what tends to happen during a Mercury retrograde. Many of us know that things slow down for a good reason. Um, from the last time we were in Mercury retrograde. So this happens about every quarter to slow down and process and review. That's what the review is for. Now, I love the beautiful question that people ask me. Sister Sage, is there anything good at all about Mercury retrograde? I, I love that question. I think it's a beautiful question. And the answer is yes. First, we're on the go, right? We're on the go, on the go, on the go, not pausing and processing all the other things that have happened in the last quarter. That gives us an opportunity to do that. That's one thing, as I just mentioned. The other thing is it offers us to, our conscious mind will go, it'll go foggy. And you wonder why that's good? Well, let me tell you, because it wants us to slow down. It doesn't want us to be active up here. It wants us to open up in a different way within meditation, within solitude, within quietness, uh, journaling, writing. It's also good. Most people have, let me rephrase that. A lot of people have dreams, very powerful, revealing dreams during this time. Um, so it's a time and an opportunity where the conscious mind is suppressed and the subconscious mind is open. And that's a good thing. So you may feel this fogginess, like where are my keys? I don't remember what to write or type or what to say, but my goodness, my intuition is heightened. My dreams are profound, and very telling at times. Some people, and I'm included, even claim that loved ones come to visit. Visitations during this time. You're more open to these type of things, including synchronicities. It's really a good time to. It's always a good time to look for synchronicities, but boy, it's really a good time to take note of synchronicities because you slow down. Okay, you slow down enough to see and hear and listen. Okay, so I want you to make note of today, January 30th, 2021 to February 20th. Mercury's in retrograde in the sign of Aquarius. Okay, and one of the other things I do while I write the newsletter of all the upcoming events that are happening for that given month, and this is for February, but we're starting with the January 30th Mercury retrograde. I tend to give you insight into the month we're going into, and this is particularly more important because of the Saturn that you see, Jupiter, Sun, and Mercury in the sign of Aquarius. So February, for the month of February, we are dealing with the world of Aquarius. Every day in February, regardless of the day in February, we are dealing in the world of Aquarius. And it's governed by the planet Uranus, okay? And let me give you some keywords. And many of you have heard these. Many of you have heard me talk about a lot of these keywords for uh, Aquarius. but it's more heightened and particular at this time. Okay? So if you feel it's good to write it down, write it down. So Aquarius is the awakener. Okay? Shake, rattle, and roll. It wants to awaken us. We're raising consciousness. Um, there's other keywords called revolution, and I've stated we are in a revolution at this time. Visionary, inventions, new age, humanitarian efforts, computers, technology. And when I say new age, a lot of people that work in, let's say, the spiritual field and spiritual workers, light workers, whatever you wish to call it, we tend to giggle at the word, the term new age, because most of what I'm practicing right here, this is ancient wisdom. This is not new by any means. It's ancient wisdom that I'm sharing with you. So, but a lot of people call it New Age, okay? So those are a few keywords. I may share a few more as I talk further here, but I really want you to get the feeling of that Aquarian energy. And depending on where you're born, what month you're born in, is where your Aquarius is. So what you can see right off the bat here, if you're born in January, your Aquarius is in your second house down here. See the number 2 in the sign of Aquarius? That's the house of self-esteem, material possessions, right here in the second house. Okay, so you can see there's a lot going on here for those born in January. It already tells you that. Okay, so let's bring that back in. So I would like to share what's happening for the month of February, keeping in mind those keywords I just shared. I want to add a little more flavor. For some reason, it's another keyword, but it's something that I would like for you all to tap into, not just the word. It's ley lines, okay? The grid, the natural grid, ley lines. There's something very powerful about our natural grid and, the man-made grid. Let's talk about the grid that they use for trains and, that type of thing. There's a different type of grid and structure that's out there, our electrical grid, okay, if you will. So I am talking about all grids, man-made and our natural grid, okay? And there are times I share with people, go out and stand in the grass. If there's no snow, stand in the grass, because that natural energy, the natural grid below you is Mother Earth's heartbeat. And when your feet are bare and your feet are on the ground, you are absorbing that beautiful natural heartbeat, rhythmic vibration of Mother Earth. So that's the natural grid. That's an Aquarian energy. Okay? And some people talk about the Schumann's resonance. It's the same thing, Mother's heartbeat. There's a lot of different words that are used for that. And that's why when people tell me they don't feel good, I tell them this is a wonderful thing to do, and it's to harmonize, to balance, okay, your chakras, and this is a beautiful way to do that. But I was listening to a beautiful video the other day, and it was talking about ley lines and the different cultures and what they call it, the ley lines, the natural grid. Some refer to it as the spiritual lines, the dragon lines. I've heard so many various names to this. It was very enlightening to learn how different cultures use that. And many cultures use these. Now, you say, well, where are these, Sister Sage? Where are these ley lines? Um, Many of them are in sacred locations. Now, I will share with you one of these actual locations is called Rennes-le-Château in the south of France. It's was based on the movie Da Vinci Code. This location, okay. Um, so it's a real location, and it's one of the very high vibrational ley lines. It's where these points intersect, and it really produces. I'm telling you, I I felt like I was floating when I was out there. Not kidding. Um, uh, the Washington D.C. are where the White House is. That's another very heightened ley line location. Again, these are Aquarian terms. That's why I'm talking about this. There's some that have been said that are out in Arizona. There's many different ley lines. I believe there's one out in Pennsylvania. So just do a search on these different locations because there's many um, where these heightened locations are. And to experience them is phenomenal. Now, I'm sharing that for another reason. Those are the good reasons. It's something to watch and pay attention to. Now, whether this is going to be more in the news, what you read on social media about whether it's our natural grid or man-made grid, you may see more of that as, especially I would say over the next 2.5 years because of where Saturn is. There's the Saturn symbol, and I've talked a lot about this, which mainly, in short, I said a few months ago that we have now been activated by the age of Aquarius. We are in it. We are in a revolution. We are in a change. And let me tell you, it's the time to not be stagnant. The outer world will not allow for stagnant or being complacent. It will bring about things in your life and your world to stretch and grow you. And if you allow yourself to open up to that understanding, then the intensity of it, if it is intense for some people, will not be as near as intense. Okay? Just to understand, hey, if the divine is trying to get my attention and it wants to stretch and grow me and learn, and anything with Aquarius means I don't want it traditional. I want, you know, hey, get the tie-dye shirts, think different, think out of the box, do your work different. I'm doing something different right now. It's challenging and changing, but it's stretching me to do something off the cuff without notes or anything, okay? It's fun. It challenges you. So let's recap. We're in a Mercury retrograde in Aquarius, and we're talking about the month of February, which is all Aquarian energy. And Aquarius, and I gave you some of the keywords for Aquarius, so you can tap the energy. And Aquarius rules Japan. And let me give you also when the new moon is going to take place and full moon, if you so choose to write those down. See, this gets you a little more involved, so it's not written out. You can write it out, okay? And who knows, maybe I'll write it out and throw that in with this newsletter. Let's see how this rolls. Okay, we have a new moon on February 11th at 2:06 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, according to my handy dandy astrology calendar. And that's in the sign of Aquarius, my friends. So, not that it will happen, but it rules Japan, it rules earthquakes, volcanoes, sudden releases, sudden movements, and it can also be sudden things in your world. It's like it's the awakening. It's like, oh, hello. So it's a potential for earthquakes. It's a potential, especially with anytime a new or full moon in Aquarius. You may see that. There could be news about Japan that may come about because of the new moon in Aquarius, and Aquarius rules Japan. Um, okay, let's see. Full moon on February 27th in the sign of Virgo at 3:17 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And those are the new moons and full moons. Let me see what else is happening in the month of February. Of course, we have Valentine's Day on February 14th with the moon going into the sign of Aries. And at 10:54 a.m., leaving Pisces and going into Aries. Looks like an okay day. We're still not out of Mercury retrograde. Um, okay to be around your loved ones and share chocolates and candy. Um, the other thing that I talk about in my newsletters, I tend to give other pieces of information. I'll say what month it is and what sign that governs, and which is February, a sign of Aquarius, and some of the keywords which I've given you. And on an anatomical level, it rules our heart electrical system. Now remember, I shared that Aquarius, some of the keywords and things it governs and rules is the natural grid and the man-made grid. So our electrical unit, there is this electrical grid, if you will, inside our body. So to keep that in harmony and in rhythm, it's good to stand in the grass, making sure you nurture your heart and your electrical system where you're not anxiety ridden and all of that, balancing, harmonizing, standing in nature, walking in nature, being in nature, having nature things around you in your home if you feel you have that kind of tendency to be anxious with these energies and influences of Aquarius. Some people are a little more heightened with that. Depends on what their stars are, okay? Their individual stars. Some do, some don't, okay? So then we have, so those are the things to look for. Journaling is a really good time during Mercury retrograde. And with the Aquarius, and with Mercury in Aquarius, and since we know the retrograde that it's in Aquarius, and it's about New Age endeavors, humanitarian efforts, awakening, you can ask yourself, you can do a self-questioning, like what do those words mean to you? Because remember, everybody's born in a different month, and therefore it's going to offer you something different. Okay? So it's always good to just say, here's the key words that Sister Sage said. I wonder what these keywords mean to me. And if you're journaling, write them down. If you have a physical feeling like that, electrical, like of the heart, if it means something to you, take note of that. If you feel you need to bring in more plants into your home, into your office area, are there crystals or what have you to balance your energies out. So take note of that. Um, we have 28 days in February. We have Valentine's Day, Mardi Gras, which is on February 16th, that Tuesday. Um, and the Lunar New Year for the Chinese New Year is of the ox. So you may want to go out and uh, Google that and see how that affects you and for the year you're born in. We have Venus that will go. See, you'll see Venus right here, my friends. That's getting ready to go into Aquarius on, it's saying here on my calendar, it's going to be going in on Monday, February 1st at 9:05 a.m. Eastern Time. So if I change this, so I hope that this is working. And let's say we go ahead and just for kicks and giggles, that we go ahead and make this 2/2/21. Oh my goodness, you guys. Not only is it Groundhog's Day, but I mean, look at those twos in there, right? Let's open this up and see if, see, Venus has now moved. It was up here and now it's in here. And now you'll notice Aquarius has become the first house because now we're in the world of February, which is Aquarius. Now look at all that's happening here. So for my friends born in February, you've got a lot of changes and restructuring going on. Okay? So don't let this Mercury in retrograde, you may feel it. Some people get tired. Some people, get a little sluggish and they feel it. It's like sometimes it just hits them real hard. It's like one afternoon, like boom, they're just tired, right? But I want for those who are born in February to just pace yourselves. It's all good. You're in a restructure. And there's the lucky planet, there's Saturn, there's Venus, there's the Sun, there's Mercury in retrograde, okay? So there's a lot happening for you. So with that, I hope that gives you a wonderful February update on what's happening astrologically. And I do not see anything else here that stands out. There's no major changes like a Saturn or a Jupiter or the dragon's head and tail. Those are your big ones, okay? But here's what the moon looks like. So when it is in a sign, now, for example, on February 2nd, it goes into the sign of Libra. Those last for, about every 2.5 days, then it moves into the next sign, then the next sign, okay? So I don't really talk about that much. And I've given a lot of talk about the dragon's head in Gemini and the tail in Sagittarius, because that's where the current north and south node are sitting out in the universe, okay? Isn't it great just to look at the visuals? So you may see a lot of bouncy with the stock market in Taurus. Uranus, remember what I said, it's the awakener, sudden movement, it's in Taurus, and Taurus rules money, it rules real estate, money, stock markets, okay? And Mars is right there, and midheaven. So we're already kind of seeing some of that happening. So a lot of changes with monies too. I wrote that in my book. So before I close out here, feel free to order my book through Amazon, okay? And I'm going to bring up my website in a minute. And this is the most recent one. It's Reverend Rhonda Shinley, Sister Sage, okay? Sister Sage's astrological journey continues as above, so below. This is helpful as to what you just went through, and if you have the current, have ordered the current astrological influences from me, the 20, I think it's like $20, okay? Then it just gets you right up to date. So go to karmiclaw.com. Most of you have my newsletter, which is right there, okay? what's really cool is you can sign up for that. And if, let me see if I have the archives, then you could go read all the other Sister Sages newsletters. I think, see, even December 31st, 2020. I'm not sure if Mike got the January up there for me yet. Or Wonderful Webmaster. Okay, so, and when you go to the home page, and if you haven't listened to this, this is all back in, when did I do that? Oh, May of 2020. And I was predicting all the things that are happening right now. So go to Karmic Law and you can order my book. You can look up different things like Mercury retrograde and have a more understanding if that helps you. But for now, my dear friends, let's hope that this works. I think I have shared just about everything. Okay, so I'm going to do a stop share. Okay, and come back to here and thank you guys so much. Now that's off the cuff, no notes, no anything. This is kind of how I do it and look at things and look at the my software so I can see where different things are. And I hope this gives you more insight into how I put these together. We'll try this and see how it works. And in the meantime, blessings to your astrological journeys. If you have any questions, please let me know. And I thank you all very much for all your wonderful love and support and cheering me on to keep doing this. I love it and I'm privileged to do it. Blessings to you all.